If the thought of your phone buzzing with happy birthday texts makes you want to activate airplane mode and hide under your covers until the sun goes down, congratulations. You aren't a Grinch, and you aren't depressed. Your brain is just responding to a psychological high-wire act that most people are too loud to notice. Society tells us this is supposed to be your, quote, big day, the day you're the main character. But for you, that spotlight doesn't feel like a celebration. It feels like an interrogation. While everyone else is blowing out candles, your nervous system is calculating the social cost of every thank you and every forced smile. You're not broken, and you're definitely not ungrateful. Your psychology is simply tuned to a different frequency, one that values authentic connection over scripted performances. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on why your intellect and your deep sensitivity make birthdays feel less like a gift and more like a survival mission. We'll explore why birthday blues is actually a sign of a highly analytical mind, and why your need for quiet isn't a social failure, it's an existential necessity. Let's be honest. From the outside, this looks like a comedy of the absurd. You might be a powerhouse in other areas of your life. Maybe you're the one who stays calm when the office is on fire, or you're the athlete who pushes through physical pain without a second thought. But the moment the calendar hits your birth date, you turn into a statue. Your resolve simply evaporates. Psychologists might call this social fatigue, but in reality, it feels more like your birthday has become a live wire. The mere thought of having to perform joy for others makes your nervous system short-circuit. You aren't just avoiding a party, you're avoiding the crushing weight of expectation. You feel like a Ferrari being forced to drive in a parade at 5 miles per hour. The engine is screaming, the heat is rising, but you're stuck behind a wave of people who expect you to wave and smile. In this moment, you slide into a state of defensive isolation. You're not being rude, you're building a fortress. You find yourself retreating into small, controllable rituals. Perhaps you spend the day cleaning your house or getting lost in a book, anything to act as a shield against the happy birthday interrogation. You spend 10 times more energy managing the guilt of not wanting to celebrate than you would have spent at the party itself. And while that toxic inner voice asks, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal?" your brain is actually fighting a silent war. It's occupied with protecting your authenticity from a world that demands a scripted performance. To understand why your brain goes on strike the moment a birthday candle is lit, we have to look under the hood of your neurobiology. For most people, attention is a hit of dopamine, a social win. But for you, attention is a high-stakes resource, and being the center of it feels like a biological threat. At the heart of this discomfort is your amygdala, the ancient part of your brain designed for one thing: survival. For a primitive human, being watched by the entire tribe usually meant you were either being judged, banished, or hunted. Today, your brain hasn't quite caught up to the concept of a surprise party. When 20 people turn their gaze toward you at once, your amygdala doesn't see love. It sees a spotlight in the middle of a dark forest. It sees exposure. This triggers what psychologists call an amygdala hijack, effectively bypassing your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles logic. While your rational mind says, "These are just my friends," your emotional center is screaming, "You are vulnerable. Retreat." This is why you feel that sudden, inexplicable urge to flee the room or hide in the bathroom just as the happy birthday song begins. You aren't being dramatic, you're experiencing a physiological overload. Because you process information more deeply than the average person, you aren't just hearing a song, you're absorbing every gaze, every expectation, and every micro-expression in the room. Your birthday dread isn't a lack of joy, it's a sophisticated defense mechanism. You're not antisocial, your brain is simply wired to prioritize safety over spectacle. But if we dig beneath the biology, we find a paradox that will change how you see your own reflection. Most people assume that those who skip their birthdays simply don't care. The truth is the exact opposite. You likely care too much. Behind your avoidance isn't coldness. It's a fierce, almost agonizingly high standard for what a meaningful life should look like. For the average person, a birthday is just a milestone, a day for cake and shallow happy birthday posts. But for you, it's a day of intense existential audit. You see the gap between where you are and where you thought you'd be, and that gap feels like a canyon. Your brain whispers, "If this day isn't a profound reflection of my progress and my true self, then it's a fraud." And because you refuse to participate in a fraud, you choose to opt out entirely. This is what psychologists call high standards, low momentary self-compassion. You value authenticity so much that the theatrical happiness of a birthday feels like a betrayal. You're like a high-performance engine that refuses to start because the fuel isn't 100% pure. You aren't being moody, you are protecting your integrity. You would rather have nothing at all than a hollow celebration that doesn't match the depth of your soul. You aren't running from the party, you're running toward a truth that most people are too distracted to even look for. It's time to stop fighting your nature and start changing the rules of the game. If your brain is paralyzed by the thought of a birthday, it's a signal that your system needs a software update, not a punishment. The first step is to reclaim the day through a method I call Existential Sovereignty. Instead of being a passive participant in a tradition you didn't sign up for, give yourself official permission to fail at being the birthday person. Tell yourself, I am going to spend this day as if I don't owe the world a single second of my attention. If you don't want a party, don't have one. If you want to spend the day in total silence, do it. This isn't selfishness, it's a radical act of self-preservation. The truth is, celebration doesn't have to mean noise. Try the micro-joy approach. Instead of an overwhelming event, find one tiny thing that actually makes you feel alive. A specific coffee, a walk in a quiet park, or a book you've been dying to read. When you strip away the social performance and the quote-unquote theatrical happiness, you stop draining your battery and start recharging it. You deserve to treat your birthday as a sanctuary of peace, not a museum of unkept promises to the world. 1 hour of genuine, quiet contentment is worth 1,000 fake smiles in a room full of people. By lowering the stakes, you stop the amygdala from screaming and allow your true self to finally breathe. You aren't opting out of life, you're opting into a version of it that actually fits your soul. In the end, your discomfort with birthdays isn't a defect, it's a testament to the depth at which you experience the world. You aren't lazy, and you aren't a killjoy. You are a person whose nervous system is tuned to seek meaning rather than perform commands. When you stop labeling yourself as antisocial and start seeing yourself as a protector of your own emotional peace, the entire game changes. You deserve a life where your time is a sanctuary, not a museum of obligations to others. Remember, one tiny, quiet, and authentic moment spent in solitude is worth more than 1,000 forced celebrations. You don't need a party to justify your existence. Your existence is already enough. Now, let's do something unconventional. I want you to go to the comments and share the most creative excuse you've ever used to get out of a birthday party. Or tell us how you'd actually spend your perfect, quiet day if no one was watching. By sharing it here, among thousands of people who feel the exact same way, you strip that social guilt of its power. You'll realize you aren't alone in this fog, you're just part of a different tribe. If this video helped you finally breathe a sigh of relief, hit subscribe. We're here to crack the code of the human psyche without the judgment or the noise. Click the next video on your screen. It'll explain why your hatred of small talk is actually a hidden sign of high verbal intelligence. I'll see you there.